and ratification of the 2024 RIPSIA Extended School Year Credit Recovery and Summer Enrichment Academy MOU. It will be brought forward at the next meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absence. We will now convene to closed session. We will call the meeting to order at 6:03. There is no action taken in closed session. Next item is the flag salute. Are you ready? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next we have special recognitions and presentations. I'd like to invite up Michelle Devereaux and the students from Technology High School to give us a presentation on scientific research at Technology High. Welcome.
It's loading. And then presentation mode. I forget where presentation mode is. Oh, right up there. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Okay. Good evening. Thank you, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Aturi, and cabinet members for allowing Tech High to speak with you tonight. We're going to present about the scientific research at Technology High School. So we do 2 science projects. Well, we do more than 2, but these 2 are particularly unique because our teachers go the extra mile in finding ways to involve goal number 4 of the LCAP, which is the building community, bringing in community members and relevant family partnerships in order to increase student achievement and engagement in schools. So when you hear about our students' projects and scientific research, just remember that they are actually interacting with members of our community. So with no further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Senior Nahida Maroof.
Hello, my name is Nahida Maroof, and I'm a senior at Technology High School. During my Titan Institute, we had a mission of choosing a topic of interest, and from there we started researching and collecting data. I chose to do ink chromatography, and my goal was to separate pigment inside so we can see the results of amounts of colors in each single marker. However, my project had 3 attempted fails. My teacher, Mr. McKean, helped me solve the problem, and we found out that FDNC dyes were the best method for this experiment. And when we tried it, it became a successful experiment. Towards the end of our projects, after everyone collected data, each class was evaluated and to be finalists. 9 students from each class were chosen. I got chosen to be one of those finalists. And you could see on the bottom right here, finalists were all gathered together, and it was open for the community and with experts. And here's an image of my final project and a data graph of all the data I did, and a message from my teacher letting me know that I became one of the finalists. Last year, I wrote an article to share with our community about PLTW of engineering. I wrote about our design and development process, event with experience, and interview with our teacher, Ms. Mason. My article for Technology High School for engineering course got published on the front cover in the Community Voice. Thank you.
I want to make it projection mode here. Next up, I'd like to introduce Aaron Kossoff, Waylon Immel, and Ivy Holliday, who will talk about the engineering showcase.
Hi. Is that too much? Oh, there. Hi, I'm Aaron Kosoff, and first off, you might be wondering, what is the Engineering Showcase? Well, the Engineering Showcase is the place where we showed our finalized prototype to a group of experts, and the prototype was designed to solve a problem we addressed at the start of the year that was iterated on until it was, I guess, perfected and finalized at the end of the year. And we iterated on our prototypes using the engineering process to ensure that there were no apparent flaws. And after this, with the panel of experts, it was a really good way to engage with our community, because I personally had a lot of experiences with various experts. One of them was, when looking at my final project, was really impressed by the coding aspects and liked to talk to me about that a lot. And another one was far more focused on bringing the product to market. And it was just really interesting having those dynamics. And for now, what me and Waylon did is we addressed that door handles spread disease in the hospital setting, and that can be a serious issue. And for the solutions, we created a similar solutions matrix to address already existing solutions and their pluses and their flaws. And in creating this, we recognized that the automatic door was the best solution. However, it's very expensive for these medical facilities, and so we directed our project to be a cheap automatic door. And through this, we constantly iterated on our prototypes, learned about the engineering processes, we learned how to use CAD, learned how to apply coding to our projects, learned, I guess, the functions of various electronic components and very important engineering aspects like soldering and all these different things. So I'll pass it off to Waylon Emmel.
Hi, I'm Waylon, and I'm going to talk about how we prototyped from paper to reality. We started out with just an idea, and we researched a lot to find what we needed to do to make it so that this was feasible. So we started with a bunch of paper sketches of different aspects of the prototype, and then we eventually moved on to feasibility prototypes, testing different aspects of the design, such as electronics, the code, and just the general function of being attached to the side of the door and opening it with that motor. And eventually we combined all of the findings from our testing and different prototypes into one final prototype that we then iterated on a little bit more to get a final working product that we could then present to a number of experts at the final presentation. And that was our poster. We described every aspect of the process in that presentation. And then the experts, who consisted of engineers for a popular water bottle company, that's one I remember in specific. There were student engineers in college, there were teachers, there were just friends and family. And there were a lot of people there to see what we built and give feedback on our creations and our process of creation. So we learned a lot from that, and they gave us a final rubric where they put any notes that they wanted to share afterwards that they thought of. And yeah, that's how we finished the project. And Ivy's Holiday is gonna describe her project now.
Hello, my name is Ivy Holiday, and I'm going to be talking about my specific project. So, when looking for a problem that we really felt was an issue, we found that existing solutions can't properly address electrical injury, especially in children, like in a home setting. So, we prototyped and planned out a lot of potential designs, but the design we called the locking plug holder really gave the most protection for adults, simplicity, and ease of use. And then in order to make this possible, we had to learn a lot more technology, and all of my group members learned computer-aided design or CAD software. And then we met with a variety of experts that we sought out ourselves and edited the design in between iterations. So we had 4 initial prototypes and 5 3D printed iterations, so 9 altogether. And we tested each one based on earlier identified requirements and presented our findings in the final showcase. So up in the corner is the original thumbnail for the design, and then a more fleshed out picture. The paperclip you see is my group mates and I learning CAD software. And then there's a picture of us in a Google Meet with the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, or some members of it, and all of our prototypes, or the printed ones at least. So here's our final showcase. I have a picture of our trifold, our final product, and a picture where I was talking to a specific engineer who was evaluating us and said that with additional modifications, this could be a final product that could be sold in market.
So thank you for letting us present, and I really want to give a shout out to our amazing teachers who guided these projects and helped these students find these experts. Erin DeCleva is not here tonight, but in the audience we have Ginny Mason. Ginny, stand up. Thank you for all that you do. Also Scott McKeon. And then thank you to our PTSA, because they helped fund the poster stands that our students were using, and we can use those year over year. So thank you. Were there any questions you wanted from the kids?
Questions?
Do you guys have
Yeah,
any
I
questions?
have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in, how do you protect your knowledge? I mean, I see 2 products up there. I didn't understand how the first one, the color, I'm sure it does, but the door opener and the plug protectors. How do you protect? Is there the possibility of getting a patent on that? I don't know if a patent's way too expensive, but if I was an investor, or come into this and want to get ideas, I worked for Hewlett Packard for a lot of years, and we used to always worry about our competitors would come in and copy what we're doing. So you've done all this work, you've done this plug-in thing, and having little kids and grandkids understand. We used to have the little plastic plugs you'd put in the hole, and then you have to unplug them. But to me, that's a very marketable product. Is the discussion of patents ever come up? Anybody?
We have discussed the idea of patents and why it's a really important thing in, I guess, like creating your product. However, throughout the creation process, we didn't necessarily have like bringing it to market in mind. So if we were to branch it out further and possibly like optimize the prototype even further, yeah, we would secure a patent for it and go through that entire process. So, but yeah, we ended up not doing it for the PLTW, I guess, course. Yeah.
Okay. Did you think about your safety thing? Have you thought about the possibility? And I don't know what a patent costs. So is a patent?
I think they're really expensive.
Are they really
Yeah.
expensive?
And it's like a long process.
Yeah.
We just found that for our idea, it was really fit for the course and gaining a lot of knowledge on this experience, but we didn't personally, none of my group wanted to pursue the design and patent it. But yeah, in the beginning of the course, we do learn a lot about patents in industry and the importance. So if you wanted to pursue that yourself, you could.
Right. Well, it'd be interesting if you took the engineering with a marketing class and figured out, the model to, the demand for the world. Maybe if you had an investor in a patent, you've got the next Shark Tank solution, millionaires type of thing.
I do see that one of you guys made your own logo over there, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So good job on that.
So I think all your projects are great. Having worked for an engineering company for a lot of years, we had a lot of future engineers like you sitting in their cubicles figuring out, all kinds of fancy stuff and things to work. And I was sitting on the other side of the table figuring out, how much money they could spend to do it. So congrats to all of you. Great job.
Shirley, do you have any questions? Okay. Eric? I just want to say this is amazing. I am not going to lie, when I saw the paperclip on this board, I thought maybe that was like you were testing to see if you actually got shocked using, and I was going to wonder who was the test dummy, but I'm glad to hear that that was for CAD drawing and not does this actually work. But so congratulations to all of you. It was amazing, and thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. Good job. And I have goodies.
Just
Sorry.
one more comment, another kind of comical thing, but another solution for your door closer, at hospitals. I could remember my 3 teenage boys. It'd be nice to have one of those where I didn't have to open their door and go into their room with all the stuff that was there. So there's another model for your product. You need to give them more than that. Give them a Bitcoin. Yeah, right. 1 Bitcoin per. Isn't a Bitcoin worth like $550,000 or something? Yeah, something. What? Yeah, I know. Per the second. So.
All right. Next we have trustee reports on activities. Trustee Johnson.
Well, it's been can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. It's been a great month. So let's see. The first thing I went to was the special education meeting on the 21st, which was great. We had a few parents there, so it made sorry, I just put something in my mouth. It made the meeting really robust. I really enjoyed it, so learned a lot. And on the 28th, I went to SCO had an online Brown Act board training, so that I learned a lot there. And just last Saturday? Last Saturday, or was it? Yeah, okay. We had the EXL fundraiser, and that was fun. So it's been a good month. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Brown?
So Maite and I had the opportunity to go talk to a group of individuals that asked us to come talk about Measure A. So, and we've talked about having town hall meetings, and this was kind of like a small town hall meeting, and it was an interesting group of individuals. We were we're at Sally Tomatoes. There were 2 ex-Rohnert Park City Council people there that had been there before. There was 1 current City Council meeting because he's tied in with that business type thing. We had a couple retired teachers, one from the ranch and somewhere else, and then a number of people that have been in Rohnert Park. Their kids have gone through school, a few people in the real estate business, and other retirees. And they had a bunch of robust, where Maite and I went over to talk about Measure A. It kind of blew up into all kinds of topics, which was great. Maite, you did a great job of giving an overview of yourself and your background in the district, and I really appreciated that, because I didn't know what to expect going into this. I thought we'd talk about that. And I think we hit on kind of a funding issue for schools with them. So then they had some good questions about. They're just a well-informed group. And one of the questions was from a previous city council person, was saying, when is the 1990 bond going to go off of my tax bill type of thing? So I tried to explain it's like a house payment. They last 30 years, and if you refinance them to pay less, they go longer type of thing. So I think a question went to John to get back to them. But they had questions about special ed, about just funding and that, and they had no idea of the discrepancy of income from school to school.
Yeah.
So we gave the example of us to St. Helena, and it's like a 3-to-1 of income that they get compared to us type thing. So I think we enlightened them. We got their support. They were there to ask some tough questions, and one of the questions one of them asked was, well, this is such a small portion, Measure A is such a small portion of your budget. You know, what's the big deal? So I and my team tried to say, well, it is a big deal because $1 million, $1.3 million is a lot, even though, you know, our budget's larger than that. It's maybe only 1% of our budget, but 1% is, you know, is the stuff that's left over.
Mm-hmm.
So after I walked out of it, I thought, wow, we hit on a lot of things type of thing. So it was a good experience, and I'd like to see us providing that type of communication to other people in the community. So the more people know, the more people understand, the more people can appreciate.
Yeah.
So
I wonder, city
good
councils
time.
doing district, neighborhood, like meet and greets with their city council people. I wonder if we could tag on with that. Like it would actually be a city council person and a school board person,
Right.
you know, and then you're kind of hitting.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to do on the plate. And, you know, we're just putting a third and a fourth and a fifth serving on the plate for
Yep.
Maite and everybody else. But yeah,
It doesn't
But
have to be you, but yeah.
it's a good opportunity to educate.
John loves talking to people about numbers, so we're going to send him out there. Good time. Trustee Martin?
I'd like to just start with recognizing the dedicated and creative and outstanding administrators and teachers and staff of the Cotati Roanoke Park School District. The more events and things I go to, the more that I experience and see. It's just amazing the people we have working for us. So I'm very proud of that. I attended the special ed committee with Shirley, and it was neat because our topic, one of our main topics, was how to get parents engaged in the IEP process. And I felt like our exercise was very productive and informative, and it was neat to see the creative ideas. And I'm also participating. Shayla Pace at Thomas Page has an awareness campaign going on with her students to make us aware about Southern Sudan and their need for water and helping raise money for nonprofits. So I received a letter today from one of the students, and it's neat to see the students engaged.
Very cool. I, too, am participating with Shayla Pace's class, so I got my letters today, and it was really great writing back. And it's really cool because it came from two very different students, and so they all read the same book. They're all pitching the same donation to the South Sudan Water Project, but they both came to it from two very different ways and expressed their knowledge and learning and it was just great. So I really appreciate that, and thank you to Shayla for including a bunch of us in that project. If you're not doing anything on Saturday from 3:30 to 7, please go to Oliver's. They're doing a bank sale, and you too can participate in getting clean water to the South Sudan. Today we had our Calamine meeting, which is a meeting between all the different labor groups and the district office, and just working on communication, collaboration, and trust. So we have a couple really fun events coming up. There's going to be a luau for all staff in April 24th, 25th. 25th, yep. So that's going to be really exciting. And then we have some other things that we're going out to the different school sites working on collaboration and just making sure that we really truly are one team. You know, we have everybody kind of during the day has their heads down and doing their thing, but we really truly are one team all here for the students. So that was good. Got to attend the XL fundraiser with Shirley and Jamal, so that was great, and saw some city council people there and a great time with that. And then, yeah, we have all kinds of other stuff coming up. So we'll do it again next week. Let's see what we can do between now and then. So wonderful. Maite?
Thank you all. So I wanted to comment on CalMI too. I'm really impressed with everybody's there to be productive and really work towards finding solutions for some of the issues that confront us. And it's really a good, diverse group of folks that are representing the district as a whole. We are also excited about interest-based bargaining, which starts next week. We're going to go into our first session. We have a facilitator from F3 facilitating for us. At some point, we'd like to take over the facilitation, but we think we need somebody to we need the training wheels to get us started. We're also working on enrollment and staffing meetings, which are always productive and anxiety-producing meetings for everyone. Our enrollment is increasing, which is good news. And coming up in May, on May 2nd, we're going to have a youth panel that talks about, we're going to use our Youth Truth data to help guide the conversation about how they're feeling on campus, their sense of belonging, their sense of safety. We'll have it here at the TAG building, and we'll have representation from all our secondary schools. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have our licensed clinical social workers facilitate the conversation, and we'll invite the public to hear. And also site visits continue. I'm excited to be on the school sites every day, so thank you.
Great. We have no union reports today and no receipt of official correspondence, right? All right. So next we have public comment for items not on the agenda. Please keep your comments concise, brief, and limited to 3 minutes or less. A maximum of 20 minutes is allotted to each subject not appearing on the agenda. If there are more speakers than time allotted, they are each offered the opportunity to speak for an equal duration of up to 20 minutes. The Brown Act restricts the board from considering any item not appearing on the posted agenda. So our speaker tonight is Nick Alva. Did I say the last name right? Good, great. Yep, you can just go right up to that podium, and you probably have to turn the microphone on, would be my guess. Is there like a little button on the side? Oh, it's on. Never mind, they're giving me this.
Good evening. Thank you for all the work that you do. This is a critical time in our society, for American culture, for the education and the health of children. Last year, I saw a report that came out of Children's Health Defense that I think actually came out of the FDA that stated that 41% of all American children have some form of chronic illness, whether it be diabetes, et cetera. The leading components in this are major negative impacts upon our society and our culture, which need to be addressed and remedied at the school level as one facet of hopefully coming to a correction. The number one item is technocracy, as epitomized by the COVID-19 and mRNA inoculations. We have seen that these are ineffective, unsafe, and the amount of lies and cover-up. I invite you to look again at CDH and FLCCC, as well as a lot of active FOIA reports that have come out. In this regard, we find that the pharmaceutical industry is quite corrupt and is not putting out safe products for children. And I just read last week that they are proposing that students receive up to 100 inoculations by the time they're 18. I believe CRP requires 72. I have a son that has immune problems, and I have a nephew who actually had to drop out of Davis after receiving some of these inoculations regarding immune problems that these people are suffering. The percentage of injury might be low, but it is significant. Second item is ideologies in our culture that are also, these are toxins we're talking about, basically. Toxins for profit. Second is ideologies that are fragmenting not only individuals, but our society as a whole. These are also quite toxic and are very prevalent. I work for Sonoma County Library. I see these on a daily basis. BLM, CRT, DEI, who mention things about inclusion, but they're actually quite ghettoizing and also quite discriminatory in their nature. These should not be taught to children. We need to protect the innocence of children, and we need to preserve parental rights. Couple of these, so toxins are prevalent in our society and our culture. We see them in everywhere, and we see the impact upon individuals. Health and safety, forget about Health needs to be taught. The most dynamic and most impressive programs that I've seen around the world have to do with people returning to natural agricultural practices, not only organically, but also civically and community-wise. They're saving regions of Africa and other regions of the world by getting back to nature. You couple these toxins and these dangers with the wars and the genocide and the support that our country has for the wars in Ukraine and the genocide in Palestine, and what type of knowledge is this being presented to our children? How this is undermining our culture, our civilization, and society? Because what I'm finding is that our culture has moved in a very anti-life direction. Couple this with the amount of abortions that we have, which have been 60 million since 1973. Estimated about 60% of the previous generation were actually aborted. And our education I request that you all consider an education that is focused upon life, the positive aspect of life, the sanctity of life. I know it's not in public schools to teach any type of religion or theology, but I encourage the teachers to look at life as something that is divine and sacred, and that we protect our children, our education system. Otherwise, we're going to be quite abysmal, and we're heading in that direction. I appreciate the time. I wish you all a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next item is consent agenda. Is there any comments or questions about the consent agenda? Can I get a motion to approve items A through E?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Personnel Services, 9A, approval of the revision of the provisional internship permit at Technology Middle School.
Yes, we're bringing this back. We had the teacher's name incorrect. It's Abby. Wait, it's either we had Abigail, but it's really Abby. So we're asking for to have it reapproved.
Great. Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve the revision of provisional internship permit at Technology Middle School?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. There is no business and operation services. Board services, vote for representative to CSBA's delegate assembly. So we all got the two people that are, whoops, that's not it. But you really should go to the Tech High Titan Institute as well. But we got the two nominations for this. So does anybody have a nomination for the CSBA delegate assembly?
I'd like to nominate Stephanie Maneri.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Jeremy Broat. Brott.
That's okay.
Do we have a second for either Stephanie or Jeremy?
I'll second Jeremy.
All right. So then we move to the vote, right? Or is there any discussion or questions? No? All right. So all those in favor of Jeremy Brock being the CSBA delegate assembly? Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Or any abstentions?
Yeah, I'll abstain.
Motion carries 3-0 with one abstention and one absence. All right. 11B, approval of the draft of the 2023-2024 SARC.
The superintendent's recommendation is that you approve the draft of the 2023 school accountability report cards. These are, since November of 1988, state law requires all public schools receiving state funding to prepare and distribute a school accountability report card. A similar requirement is contained in the Federal Elementary and Secondary Education Act. These are a way for the public to learn more information about our schools. They contain demographic data, school safety and climate for learning information, academic data, school completion rates, class sizes, teacher and staff information, curriculum and instruction descriptions, post-secondary preparation, and fiscal and expenditure reports.
Right. Any questions or discussion about the 2023-2024 SARC?
I just want to say I appreciate all that information. It was a lot to look through, but very informative. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, can I get a motion to approve the draft of the 2023-2024 SARC?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. We have removed item 11C. So 11D, acceptance of gifts and donations.
Yes, we have 2 donations from the Rohnert Park Rotary and Veterans for Peace for peace poles at Rancho Cotati High. So the Rotary Club, Rohnert Park Rotary Foundation, donated $280 and Veterans for Peace $140, and they'll be installing a peace pole at Rancho Cotati.
Right. Can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of gifts and donations to schools and district?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Board member future agenda items. Trustee Johnson?
Have nothing.
Trustee Brown?
Pass.
All right.
Pass.
All right. We are good. Then we will end the meeting at 6:40. We'll see you all next week.